Hello and welcome to HygroMatik. My name is Helge Kröger, and today I would like to demonstrate the easy maintenance of a heater steam humidifier from the FlexLine Plus series. In beginning with the maintenance, the water supply must be shut off. Secondly, the residual water in the steam cylinder needs to be drained. To do so, I press the control switch in position 2 and keep it pressed. Now all water should be pumped out. I then release the switch. Now I will disconnect the unit from the power supply and secure it from being restarted to avoid injuries. Now that the unit is disconnected from water and electricity, I can open the housing cover safely by opening these lock bolts and pulling it off. As you can see, the unit is divided into two halves. Right side, electrical compartment, left side, steam compartment. After I've disconnected the unit from the power supply, I have to ensure there is no voltage by measuring the voltage at the connection points of the main contactor. Measure each phase against the other. And I have no voltage here. If your unit is equipped with a separate control voltage for the main board, as in this case, I must also ensure that there is no voltage there by checking the connection terminals on the electronics. Neutral to phase. Here too, there is no voltage, and I can safely carry out the maintenance of the unit. To remove the steam cylinder, I have to disconnect the hose connection to the water level control up here. To do this, I loosen the hose clamp and pull it off. Loosen the so-called star screws up here. And loosen the clip for the steam hose adapter. And then pull the steam hose adapter up with the steam hose and secure the steam hose adapter with the clip. Now I have two free hands to remove the steam cylinder. The next step is to remove the lashing strap. And to disconnect the electrical connection to the steam cylinder. Now I can remove the steam cylinder. To do this, I lift and turn the steam cylinder upwards and remove it from the unit. Now I can separate the cylinder top from the bottom by simply pulling it off. I first look into the steam cylinder base to see if there are any mineral deposits. I can empty it of coarse particles. If there are residues adhering strongly, they have to be removed mechanically. First, try to remove these residues with a cloth. Simply wipe around it. If it is of no use, these residues must be removed mechanically. In this model, 3 heater elements are integrated into the upper part of the cylinder.
The capillary tube from the thermal circuit breaker is wrapped around the 3 elements.
And if there are residues, they must first be removed mechanically. To do so, I use the shaft of a screwdriver. I tap on the heater elements with it and loosen the coarse particles. Please avoid rough scratching with screwdrivers or sharp objects, not to damage the surface of the elements. It may still be necessary to use a descaling agent. You are welcome to do so. Use a normal descaling agent. Citric acid works quite well. The citric acid should have a maximum acid concentration of 10%. Use a container for this purpose, and then fill it with citric acid or a descaling agent, and place the complete steam cylinder in the container. Then let the descaling agent take effect. This can take up to 24 hours. Please avoid the acid coming in contact with the surface of the cylinder, with the heater element contacts on top. As with all HygroMatik steam humidifiers, an O-ring set is included. We also have O-ring sets available for purchase. The O-ring set consists of the following components: an O-ring for the cylinder base, an O-ring for the steam cylinder, an O-ring for the blowdown pump, and an O-ring for the steam hose adapter. The 3 sealing rings should be replaced if necessary. 2 sealing rings are located here under the thermo guard, and another one under the thermo switch. If all the components have been cleaned, I can start assembly of the steam cylinder. I take the bottom part of the steam cylinder and with a screwdriver take out the existing O-ring. And then replace it with an O-ring found in the O-ring set. Then I can put the top and bottom together again. And make sure the thermoguard is approximately at the sticker attention hot surface. And also fasten the clamping ring approximately at the sticker. I check the sieve in the water inlet solenoid valve by loosening the nut and pull out the sieve with a pair of flat or needle nose pliers. The sieve can be cleaned under running water, and then it can be reinserted. To check the water level control for residue, I disassemble the water inlet hose to the water level control by loosening this hose from the cylinder base. The hose clamp is now loose. Now I can pull it off the hose and also loosen the hose clip at the water level control. I pull off the hose here too. Now I can check the hose for residue. If there is any residue, please knead the hose and empty the hose. If there is none or very little residue inside, please check the inlet to the water level control anyway, with a screwdriver or something long and pointed. Inserting it into the water level control and clean it, so any coarse particles are gone. If you don't have any residue, you can remount this hose. I would like to show you how to remove the water level control. Simply loosen these 4 screws around the water level control. Please pay attention to the ground terminal here, which must be remounted to this shielding plate later during installation. I have the control in my hand already. Now I can dismantle this hose. Please do not remove the electrical connection here at the water level control, but make sure you remove the cable directly from the main board and pull the wiring harness out here. I now have the water level control in my hand. Now I can remove the shielding plate and open the tank of the water level control. Remove the O-ring. If there should be any deposits in this container, just take a screwdriver and then scrape off the deposits. Also, please scratch around the connection. Then take a new O-ring and please put it on the lid here. And close the container again. And then please make sure to put the shielding plate back on again. To remount the water level control, I have to re-establish the electrical connection of the wiring harness and attach this plug to the main board. Now that the water level control is clean, I can remount it to the rear wall of the unit. Before I continue with the installation of the steam cylinder, it is necessary to replace the O-rings in the cylinder base and the steam hose adapter. To get to the strainer basket of the cylinder base, I have to remove the seal. I can reach into the strainer basket with 2 fingers and lift it out, and then remove any coarse particles from the strainer basket, and also clean the entire area of the strainer. The connections must also be cleaned, the nozzles too. To do so, I simply use a screwdriver to go in here and push through this opening, so water access is guaranteed. After cleaning, put the strainer basket back in. Make sure the groove snaps into the tongue. And then insert a new O-ring from the O-ring set in the cylinder base. Once you have done this, check all the hoses for flexibility and check for brittleness, or if they are buckled or stiff. This can be determined by just moving the hoses. These hoses can also be replaced. The hoses are available from us by the meter, but also pre-cut with the correct length. The next step is to dismantle the pipe bend of the water outlet hoses and to check it for blockages. To do this, I unscrew the pipe bend at the top.
Halte ihn in der Hand. Nimm einen kleinen Schraubendreher.
Take a small screwdriver
Mit dem Schraubendreher in dieses Entlüftungsloch hier
and guide the screwdriver into this vent hole
durchstoße einmal
and
dieses
push through the hole to remove blockages
mögliche Blockaden,
that clog the water
dafür
outlet.
sorgen, dass möglicherweise dieser Ablauf nicht mehr richtig funktioniert. Also da ist wirklich
This is an important maintenance step,
Wartungspunkt, dass das immer
that it is
sauber
always clear.
Anschließend schraube ich
Afterwards, I screw the pipe bend back
die Gehäuse.
onto the back wall of the unit.
Der O-Ring,
The O-ring in the steam hose adapter must also be renewed.
dazu nehme ich einen kleinen Schraubendreher und hebe
I use a small screwdriver and lift behind the O-ring carefully, then pull it out
und ziehe ihn dann raus. Und ersetze den dann durch einen neuen
and replace it with a new O-ring
und feuchte den,
and moisten it a little with water
damit der
so the steam
Dampfzylinder
cylinder will fit in nicely.
passgenau sitzen wird. Der Dampfschlauchadapter
The steam hose adapter is connected here with the pressure compensation hose from the water level control, which I must also check for blockages.
den ich ebenfalls jetzt auf Blockaden überprüfen muss. Und zwar drehen
I'll
wir
turn the
das
steam hose adapter a little and take the screwdriver to remove loose or solid blockages inside,
lose oder feste Fremdkörper hier drinne, damit
so the pressure compensation for the water level control will function.
funktioniert. Anschließend
Then I can start assembly of the steam cylinder.
mit der Montage des Dampfzylinders beginnen. Im ersten
In the
Schritt
first step,
nehme
I
ich jetzt
take the
den
steam cylinder in my hands
und setze ihn
and put it on the cylinder base
Stützfuß hinauf und drehe und senke
and turn and lower the cylinder a little.
und nun kann ich dann den
Then connect the pressure compensation hose from the water level control
Sensor wieder anschließen.
The final position of the steam cylinder is reached
Der Dampfzylinder
after I have reattached the star grip screws.
Jetzt muss ich noch die elektrische Verbindung
Now I will re-establish the electrical connection to the unit.
achte darauf, dass ihr keine Kabel
And make sure that no
oder beschädigt
cables are
werden.
jammed or damaged.
Das ist natürlich
That is, of course, important.
im letzten Schritt fixiere ich dann den
In the last step, I secure the steam cylinder with a lashing strap.
Nun kann ich die
Now I can turn the water supply back on
das Gerät wieder mit
and supply the unit with power,
und
and push the control switch into position 1 so that the steam production starts, and let the steam production run for about 10 minutes,
etwa 10 Minuten laufen, 10-15 Minuten
10-15 minutes to check the unit for leaks.
Dichtigkeit zu überprüfen. Nach 5 Minuten
After 5 minutes, pump off a little water to check the area of the blowdown pump for leaks too.
auf Dichtigkeit zu überprüfen. Ja, anschließend
Then please take out the maintenance manual,
dann das Checkheft.
fill in your activity accordingly,
Füllen entsprechend Ihre Tätigkeit aus hier. Setzen den Dampfmengenzähler
reset the service interval according to our operating instructions,
und bauen
and put the cover back on the unit.
so. Damit werden die Wartungstätigkeiten
This completes the maintenance work,
fürs Zuschauen.
and I thank you for watching.